Hello Star Wars fans, Budget Jedi here. I wanted to show you something that I purchased this week from eBay. This is the Action Fleet Sith Infiltrator, which is Darth Maul's spaceship. Now, first I'm going to give you guys the price that I bought it at. I managed to win this bid for $27, including shipping. $27 is the most I've ever paid for an Action Fleet vehicle, but this particular one is actually quite rare, and I actually have seen it go for about $80 on eBay. So if any of you are looking for the Sith Infiltrator Action Fleet on eBay, be sure to try out different variations of the listing, because some of them might be a lot more fairly priced than others. Here's a quick look at the back of the package before I take out the ship. It says Micro Machines Action Fleet, and here are the features. And it's got a little bit of text about Episode 1. Here's a couple of other vehicles, figures, and playsets from the Action Fleet line. The Royal Starship, that's also actually a very rare one. Hard to get. The Famba animal, that's actually electronic. It walks. That's pretty cool. And on the bottom here, you can see that it's copyrighted 1999. So this is when this thing came out. That's about 13 years ago, guys. Moving on, let's take this thing out. And here's the ship out of the box. Basically, it's just the ship and the figure. I'm always impressed with Action Fleet. It's really very simple, but yet at the same time, it's got enough detail that it's really playable. I'm going to give you guys a look at the Darth Maul figure himself here. I'm just going to give my camera a few seconds to focus. As you can see, the sculpt is actually pretty good for Action Fleet. And it's got 2 points of articulation. You know, pretty much the arm just goes up and down together, and he can sit. So, you know, not bad, but definitely, I mean, even if you see it from a distance, you could tell it's definitely Darth Maul. The face, I don't think has that much detail besides being just red, but he does have lines on his face, so that's actually pretty cool. Alright, setting that aside, here's the ship itself. I've always been a fan of this ship. You know, I'm not really a fan of the prequel trilogies, but this Sith Infiltrator, I thought, has elements of, you know, Imperial ships, and it's got the speediness factor of, you know, any kind of rebel ships at the same time. So here's a quick look around to the ship. The paintwork is actually pretty good. There's no battle damage, but it's very movie accurate. You can see some details there on the side. Now the wings, or as they actually call it in the package, it's called opening radiator fins. Kind of snap in and out, but not really. It's just moved by tight joints. And so I feel like you kind of have to be careful with it, otherwise it'll get really loose. So this is one of the coolest things I thought about Darth Maul's ship, having those fins on the side. Another feature that it has is obviously the opening cockpit. So what we're going to do here is I'm going to open it up to give you guys a look inside. And inside, it's pretty much just an empty seat with no front panel. Now here's something interesting. This top hatch is actually made out of clear plastic, which they then painted on top of it. So if they really wanted to, they could have made this red part, you know, somewhat transparent or translucent. So I thought that was interesting. Now here's one of my favorite features of the ship. In the back there, you can see the circular door. You can actually slide it out of the way slightly to the left and to the right. And what you see here is a small opening, and inside you will be able to see a mold of Darth Maul's speeder bike. So, you know, it's not too detailed, but it's still a very cool little addition that they put in there. I thought that was very interesting. And so that's pretty much it for the ship. I mean, it's a very light plastic ship, very durable. But definitely, if you're a fan of the Sith Infiltrator, this is one of the coolest pieces to have, especially that it's a little bit rare. And finally, here's the Sith Infiltrator right next to the Action Fleet X-Wing. As you can see, it's comparable in size, but realistically, I think that the Sith Infiltrator probably should have been a lot bigger. Nonetheless, a really cool piece, so I'm glad I got to show it off to you guys. Thank you very much for watching, as always. I'll see you guys on the next video.